all for helping us prepare for this trip, whether it's prayers or financial support. We want to thank you for all of that and allowing us to make this trip possible. Today, we're kind of going to be going over our trip. We'll have a quick overview. There'll be a slideshow with some photos, and all the team members who are here will have an opportunity to just give a little their thoughts on their experience on the mission trip. So with that, I'd like to introduce our trip leader, Jessica Anderson.
Okay. Well, I like that picture. That's Lakin, everybody. So again, as Dan has already said, I'm going to say thank you to everyone for helping make this trip possible. Cue next. Oh, you already have it up there. Okay, so as you see, it says our Ascension mission team. So it's not just the 10 of us that went. It is all of you here at Ascension. Even though you did not go to Peru with us, you are still part of the Ascension mission team. And we can always change. It doesn't have to say Peru 2023. If we do something in future, it will say something else. But we just wanted to make sure that you guys know that it was not just the 10 of us. It includes everyone here at this church, the community, everyone with their prayers. And then our shirt, I know you guys have seen it, the back design, we had some travel to see the difference, others travel to make a difference. That was our key thing because there's a lot of us that travel and we're always seeing new things. We traveled because we wanted to build relationships with these people over in Lima, and we hope that we can have everyone here, even though we don't live together, build that relationship with those people there to stay connected with prayer. But we're hoping that this will be the start of us making a difference with the people here and the people in Lima. One thing, it was really neat because we were able to work with their congregation. It wasn't like we were there to take over. We were working with the people there. They had ideas that we would have never thought of. And it was definitely an experience. You will hear more about that later with the slideshow and the personal reflection. But I think I'm good to go. I'm going to hand it over then to our slideshow presentation with Dave Semenchek and Darlene Hoffman.
Good morning. We have over 2,000 slides, so we're going to start somewhere around now, and we'll finish sometime tomorrow night. In all serious though, go ahead and cue up the first slide. All right. So the mission trip actually started 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We were going somewhere else, but during all of this, we
And it was all from one person in the back there. That would be Jess, yes. She was very scared. This is where we stayed at the mission house in Peru. And you can see it's Iglesia Luterana, Lutheran Church. Beautiful. That's the rose. Am I still talking? Is it still
You're
me?
still on.
I'm still on. Okay. Well, there's Jennifer peeking around. This is how we got up to our room. We stayed on the 3rd floor, and one person was lucky to stay on the 2nd, and that is laundry. Some people took advantage of that. Some of us were, well, we didn't think it was necessary. This is Erin. She was our representative from, I'm not sure what. Having a wonderful time here, I'm sure. Looks like we're getting ready for something. This is where we dined. Oh, bedrooms. 4 of us had this room. 3 of us had that room over there. Where are the guys? Oh, Dan had his own. Lucky him. I don't know. We lost a slide. Well, there they are. There they are. Okay, and that's the other one. Nice bedroom. This is a view out of our window. We saw that every morning. It reminds me of Mexico. I don't know who's been there. Another view of the building showing that they have classes there for English, and also coming down the steps, having a good time. We're getting ready to go somewhere. Poor Erin, she had to keep counting. 1, 2, 3. We're on the bus, and you can see that Dan is rather tall. Yeah, and Lakin is having a great time riding on someone's shoulder. We're having fun. Bus rides were very interesting. We got to see the area surrounding us. We got to see the people. We're walking off there to heading towards our mission work. More of that. And look at those buggies. There's 3 wheels. Oh my. Wonder who that is. We're looking at the sign. It says, we need some work out here.
All right, and so there we've arrived, and we're going into Castillo Fuerte, which is the mission church that we worked in. This is the inside. This is what we walked into. And actually, it was a little better than that. So there's Lakin saying, okay, we need to get to work, guys. And there's Jess, our fearless leader, telling us how to do it. And there's me telling Jess, yeah, I already know what I got going on. So we had to take everything down. There's Dave removing a bunch of hooks that we actually ended up reusing later on, and I'll talk about that. This is Kevin. He's a seminary graduate. He helped us with painting. He helped us all week. And there's
Mercedes?
Yepsy and Christy, and they're painting, and Yepsy's one of the teachers.
That's right.
We're washing some tables. They did not look like that when we started. They were a little dirty. Keep an eye on that dirt patch as you go along. Then there's us cleaning the chairs, and that was all the first day. And there's Lakin. He gave us the thumbs up approval. We can eat off of them now, finally. Yay! And there's a kitchen.
And this is the kitchen. One of my jobs was to clean this thing from top to bottom. Fortunately, we had help. They serve a lot of food here. There are lots of dishes to do. It was very interesting. Peggy was a wonderful help. And we got to label everything. Oh, in Spanish. Who knew how to speak Spanish? Well, fortunately, we had Erin to help us with that. Oh.
There's the beautiful cats that we got greeted to every day. If you really wanted to take them home, no. And we had stray dogs everywhere. They proceeded to make sure that we were safe or not safe, whichever way you wanted to look at that. So I mentioned the garden. We're keeping an eye on that. This is actually just the dirt path where and there's Dave, and they're digging out the compacted dirt, which was about as hard as the cement. And there's Dan finishing it off. And then we've got Jorge and Mr. Smith. They're actually fabricating a fence. And they actually brought a welder. Jorge wired it up. We were so impressed with his electrical expertise. We'll talk a little bit more about electrical later. And they're them finish up and welding, and they're giving us the thumbs up. Now, the ingenuity of them, they used a little copper spacer, and they made those all perfectly spaced and square. It was impressive by the time they got done. And the professional, just stick welding was probably better than I've seen by professional robot welders. Here we're actually putting the garden in. One comment about that, you can see Jorge looking at it. At the bottom, there was cement. We only had 3.5 inches, 4 inches of dirt. We had to actually bust through that cement in order to get those plants in. And as you can see, there's Amy and Christy helping getting all of the garden planted. Amy doing her favorite thing, digging dirt. And there's the crew that was working on it, and man, did they work hard.
They did.
And there's the final product.
It's gorgeous.
Not quite. It still had a paint on it, and there's the final product. I think you're up.
Oh, this is the classrooms. Upstairs in the building is where they had classes for the children. It's quite a mess right now. We took everything off the shelves. They sorted everything. It was a large project. We eventually got it all sorted out and put together. Of course, we needed the help of the teachers because we had no idea what it was and what they needed and where they wanted it. Cleaning, everything got cleaned. It was a large project. But you know, there was 10 of us. It went so fast. I don't believe that the painting of the upstairs rooms was on the initial project. We were just supposed to clean and take care of the sanctuary downstairs. But with all this help, we did the whole building that they were in. It was really good. Ooh.
That's Dave actually putting together one of the storage shelves that was not quite straight when we started. There's me getting injured. I made a comment about my nose while I also proceeded to bite my lip, and my wife thought it was hilarious that I was in pain most of the week.
I don't know which one of us we're at now. They're just
That's
putting
Laura.
the stuff. Yeah,
Yep,
that's Laura. She's the head of the project over there. She's sorting out things, getting it straightened out. And Christy, of course, is cleaning inside and outside. Those are plastic windows. They use everything that they possibly can. This is a classroom after it's sorted together. It looks really nice now. Far cry from what you saw in that another one here. This classroom was for just for the arts and the crafts and for the little kids. They found a table for the little kids. And this is where they learn, how to be a good Christian. They have the religion classes there. And the kids are there, and they let us come and sit with them while they were working one day. There we all are, having a good time.
So there's Jess doing her yoga poses while the rest of us are cleaning. So we showed you the original photo of what the entire thing looked like. Amy talked about she was cleaning the floor, and if you sat through and this is what we looked like afterwards. But the floor went from a dingy kind of brownish color to bright white. This is the final product. Glory to God that my wife is very particular. There's Jess and Amy with Jesus, with paper Jesus. Bienvenidos, niños de Jesus. Welcome, children of God. And we don't know what that blank slide is, but that's a good one. Is this the video? Yep. Okay. So, what's going on here is we are actually attempting to sing a hymn in Spanish. It's a good thing Kevin knew what was going on because the rest of us were not doing so well, and we didn't have Aaron to help us out. And man, we are horrible. And this is actually one of the songs that they sing before meals. The kids actually sing this one.
That was lovely.
Here's Pastor Joel correcting Kevin on how to play the chord. Helping Kevin learn how to play a song. And then one of the students and the music teacher, he taught him how to play clarinet, and he played prior to the worship service. It was absolutely awesome to hear someone that young playing. This is Pastor Jan Carlos, and he is. This is our Saturday evening worship service, and there's our team reading and translating. There's Pastor John Carlos looking at us, smiling because we don't know what he's saying. Google Translate was awesome as far as that goes. Because it was kind of translating as it went. The only issue that we had is it had to cycle, and so we were about 5 steps behind him on the sermon the entire time.
Oh, and here we are at Pastor Walterson's family. They invited us for dinner, and it was delicious. Very good Peruvian food. Look at the potatoes, 400 types. That's one of them. 4,000? Oh, geez, I got the number wrong. Okay. That's Pastor Walterson. He was a lot of fun. And you can see they're all laughing. Kevin is just a delight the whole time. Oh, and their little daughter played ball with all of us, and you never knew who was going to get it. It was just a surprise.
Isabella was awesome.
Isabella was very awesome, yes. You can see she's having fun. Yeah, there's that ball again. Aw, is that cute or what? Yeah.
Hey, it's one of the ones she didn't chop somebody's head off.
That's right. And
good.
she was very fascinated with Dan. They were a great team together. Look at how cute that is, huh?
This is the altar after it was put back together. This is the altar. I'm sorry. This is the altar at San Borja. Sorry.
Yep, I'm up on the second floor.
Yep.
Which one of us are talking?
I can take this.
Okay.
And then this is the worship service, traditional worship service. You can see there Pastor Walterson and Kevin. Kevin assisted with the service. The nice thing about there was it flashed up in Spanish, and then we were able to use Google Lens to translate it, and sometimes it worked.
It did work pretty good. Yeah.
And we were blessed to take the Lord in order to have the Lord's Supper with the congregation there. And there you can see Jennifer's up there with, I think she was in the first row, and then Dar and Christy were set to go next. And it was a great blessing in order to share that with them.
Oh, and here we have a birthday celebration. It was Aaron's birthday and someone else. I can't remember who.
Jennifer?
Jennifer's?
And Pastor
Oh, my.
Walterson's.
Oh, boy, I must have missed. Where was I that day?
You were sitting right there.
Apparently, I was.
Isn't
There I
that
am.
the corner?
And look at how they decorated all of us. We all got decorations. It was just the cutest darn thing. Really fun. Oh. This is just a gentleman from the congregation. He showed up and started singing to the birthday people. How sweet is that, huh?
The funny thing was it was going to be a light snack. It really turned into a meal after church with cake and I don't know, we had all kinds of food and wine. So yeah, we had all kinds of things and soda.
Okay, well, we're unwinding here, doing our thing. Kevin's playing on his phone. I'm reading a book. Christy's reading something. Everybody's having just downtime. It was very busy, but not overwhelming. Oh, and guess who is learning Spanish? Using, and a puzzle. We did a lot of fun things. Oh, cat taco something pizza. I have that game now.
You almost got it, Dar. You're doing good.
It was hilarious. Absolutely. And Kevin's singing. Oh, and we're all singing. It was really nice.
I think that was Friday night when we all just kind of started singing and he was playing
we
whatever.
had worship and what do you call that?
Devotion?
Devotions. Yes, that's it. That is it.
That's
exactly.
us doing devotions.
Okay. And then they had an event where they invited the children, the young adults from 3 parishes to come together. And we're having a little sing-along and a picnic.
And we got to have a lot of fun. we talked a little bit, but we went to the park, and the kids have activities, and Yipsy put all these games together. So through those, that was kind of the interaction. And then this is us. Yep, okay. So here's Aaron giving the instructions. And there's the result.
We had to pass flour on a
Yeah.
And the idea with this one was to throw balls into a bucket. Well, I was in charge of that game, and the problem was, first of all, where Yipsy told me to put it, there was no way they were getting there with the little ping pong balls. And the other problem is, I didn't get any real rules, so I made them up as I went along. So, and here's putting the 10 Commandments in the right order with the meanings. Somebody had a ringer. The problem was they were in Spanish.
Easy. This
Cheese puffs, the bane of everybody's existence.
Had to feed them to each other. But of course, they're blindfolded.
I think Dan's still pulling one out of his nose. And then this is the end. We had a tie. We didn't know who won. So Yipsy told us to play this game. Well, we thought rock, scissors, paper was going to be the solution. No. She told us the game was bear and hunter. So everybody decided what was going to happen, but the hunter shot the bear, so the bear lost, and everybody turned around and pointed the hunter. So I was like, there's got to be something missing. We looked it up later. There's a third part to the game. It does work like rock, paper, scissors. So they were very competitive, and Pastor wasn't the only one. The young people were very competitive, too. You should have heard them. It was amazing how we won. And there's camaraderie afterwards.
Afterwards, that's right. Played volleyball.
And we made do with what we had. We had a net, and we had 2 trees, and that's all we had. Oh, and the ball.
And the ball.
So, and then we got to do what they love to do down there. They love to feed you, and they love to sit with you and eat and converse. And this was, Kevin got stuck cooking. Kevin was kind of like the slave throughout the whole week. Whenever Aaron wanted something done, he had to do it. And we had chicken that night.
It was good. Really good. Oh, and here we are at multiple places to eat. Aaron was very good at finding us things that had typical Peruvian food. So we got to taste a lot of different things.
So that was chifa. That's Peruvian Chinese.
It was a little nest of noodles. It was really good.
This is Inca Cola. This is the Peruvian soft drink.
Like
Apparently,
Coke.
Lakin liked it. Some of us didn't. Some of us did enough to bring it home. Chicken is probably one of the biggest things. Best chicken I've had in a long time. Way better than KFC, which is everywhere there.
Everywhere there. Oh, and that's a good
And I think
beer,
that's
right?
Dave's beer, because he had the one that night. That's the Peruvian beer, Cosequina. Speaking of KFC, that
There
is
he is.
everywhere. Within like 2 minutes of walking, no matter where you're at. This is the buffet, I believe.
Yep.
And we got to sample a little bit of everything, didn't we, Dar? I
Yes,
mean, there
yes,
was
we
all
did.
kinds of stuff.
Look at it all. Just,
I went straight for the dessert. So,
but the other stuff was good too. I didn't start with the dessert. Look at that.
more potatoes down at the bottom.
And everybody looking hungry and ready to go eat.
We have 2 different drinks on the table. One is passion fruit juice. The other one is chicha morada, also known as purple corn drink. That's what we called it because we couldn't remember the name until at the very end.
Another restaurant.
That's the nice one that we went to with the fish.
A beautiful fish. I love that fish.
The cool thing about La Nacional, Aaron bought different Peruvian dishes there. Some of us had never tried ceviche, and there it is. Dan loved it. He finished everybody's and finished the stuff at La Nacional, too. He's like, oh, we got more ceviche? That's good.
Not everybody liked it, however.
And this is a chicken salad pressed between two potato cakes. But the cool thing about it is, look at how pretty that is. On top of it is a quail egg. That's the braised beef ribs with some rice, a lot of rice. Was that the fish or the chicken? That's the chicken salad.
It was all good.
That's the fish. And if you guys were at the congregational dinner, that, and then this is the arroz con leche, or the dessert and the spaghetti dish. Those were the two things that Amy brought to the congregational dinner. Mangoes. This is breakfast.
Yeah, that's where we had a good breakfast, right by the ocean.
Actually, we were all trying to figure out what the menu said right at that moment. Crepes, waffles, eggs.
Good looking eggs.
And of course, Lakin had to eat.
What is he eating?
He was always eating.
Okay. I love the
This is-
money.
Yep, the Peruvian money. They were in soles.
Yep.
So this is pizza. It's a little different than the pizza we have here. We had this at the night of the Bible study. One of the parishioners from the church had just opened a pizzeria. Not a lot of sauce on it whatsoever, but man, was it good. Especially after working all day. And if you've never seen what a passion fruit looks like on the inside, there you go.
More food, it's all good. Oh, and an empty bowl because we're going to be making something with cheese. Yeah, what were they?
Those are arepas. That's where they're arepas.
Arepas?
So when you make arepas, you want to add salt as you go, not at the beginning. There's Yipsy and her daughter, right behind Ariana. And that's what they look like. Now, as you make them, you actually are just mixing flour and water and a little bit of salt to season. The more water you put in, the less dense it gets. So you have to put more flour in. Some of us made huge bowls of dough. So thus we had the larger ones. There's John Carlos, and of course, Kevin's eating. But some of us also learned that if we put too much salt in, they get really salty. Won't mention any names.
Oh, and this is the favorite dish of the children. We had this the last day that we were at the mission house. I can't remember what it's called, but it was so good.
It's chicken with pepper sauce.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was their school lunch, and there were only 2 kids that didn't finish everything that was on their plate, and they were the 2 littlest kids.
This was also a dish that was at the congregational dinner. Jess made that for the potluck after the meeting. Hey, there's the kids, and
Look
then
at
some
some of
photo
those.
bomber in the background.
Yeah.
How many kids were there?
15.
15, yeah.
Yep.
Taking a little stroll, going somewhere. Here the kids are playing in the park. After they do their studies and get their homework done, then they get a chance to go outside and play. They're working on some kind of a good game there, whatever it is. And we're obviously very involved in the game, aren't we?
I think we were all trying to figure out what they were doing.
Yeah. They're just so good at keeping the children engaged and giving them things to do. Ooh, we are playing, what is it? Head and shoulders, knees and toes in English, because the goal is to get the children to learn as much English as possible, and they wanted it spoken from different English speakers because we all speak differently. So, and then they are playing soccer. I wonder who that guy in the green shirt is. The goalie, yeah, it is. And there the teachers are. Lining them up, keeping them in order, ready for the next game.
Must have a video. Oh, nope. Oh, okay. These are the parks. So this park is actually right near where we stayed at the mission. We could walk a long ways. Pastor pretty much walked almost every day, and him and Jess went. But this is the gardens are beautiful as far as that goes. Little weird to be down there in November when everything's green and it's not here. But there's art everywhere, and these were crushed rock that was kind of cemented in.
But it was spring, the beginning of spring.
It's
when
their
we were there.
spring.
Yep.
But even then, when we were talking with the people, I mean, the temperature doesn't fluctuate a lot. It gets warmer in the summer because it is high desert. But topiaries, I'm not sure if that was a real plane or not at the beginning, but it kind of looked like it.
It does. The walkers.
That was the morning that we all got up to walk.
Where are you?
I'm taking a picture.
Oh. I love these things. Well, look, they're building the Christmas tree in the background there.
Each little park had a theme. If you read the little plaques, it's all in Spanish, so you had to translate it, obviously, but it talked about, obviously this one's innovation, if you were to, but it's talking about engineering and that type of thing. Here we are after we worked out. Obviously, I conquered the mountain, and then everybody else, well, I'll be honest, it's staged. Not one of us worked out. We were just walking. You got this?
Yeah, this is how they water their park. The little trench, they fill it with water. I don't know.
So what happens is there's a pump. It pumps and it floods the entire park. In this irrigation system, the trenches are actually opposite way of the slope of the ground. The trenches go back and drain it back. The ground goes the other way. I don't remember who this guy is. It was just
But he's
a photo.
got a llama. That's the important thing. He's got the llama.
There were a lot of different art sculptures in the park. And just innovative ways of incorporating that green space.
Ooh, that's the Virgin Mary in there.
Peru is predominantly Catholic, so you'll see a lot of those type of things around. Brickwork was,
Beautiful.
and they kept it, and this is amazing. This is an outdoor theater, but it's tiered, and we weren't there. We were there early in the morning, so obviously nobody was using it, but it was just amazing how they had tiered everything off and used it.
Mm-hmm. Somebody had a party.
The thing about Peruvians is they are probably the ultimate recyclers. Everything was pretty much, I mean,
It was clean. It was very
pretty clean as far as the parks and that kind of stuff go. This, if you ever want to know if Big Brother's watching you, yes, in Peru they are. This is the police station. They have cameras everywhere, and that's what they're watching. Also known as, I can't remember what the other first word was. It was decentralization. Yeah.
Beautiful cactus everywhere.
This is a garden at somebody's
garden
house.
At someone's house.
We took a photo just through the thing.
Oh, and look at Santa. He's coming soon.
One of the other things, you can see the electric.
Whoops. This car is parked.
There's more
no
photos
room.
to this. Wait
There's
till you see the
another way
rest.
to the back. They had to make the gate so it could fit.
Car didn't fit, so they made the security fit for the car.
I love
This
these
is the
little
best way to
bikes.
walk your dog.
Yep. Oh. We're enjoying some beautiful view there.
Palm tree's a little bit bigger than.
Oh, and the llamas, finally. It was quite an adventure to find them. Very easy once we knew, but we were looking at the other side of the street, not paying any attention. We saw gorgeous flowers and no llamas. We had to call Pastor and say, llamas are here somewhere. Where?
And they were just at
there.
the Museum of Energy and Engineering.
Engineering, yep. Oh, puppy. He's eating breakfast or lunch.
He's got something.
Ooh, outside the bus window.
Yeah, this guy was breakdancing in the middle of probably 12
Traffic.
lanes of traffic.
Yep, and of
That's
course,
actually a merging left.
there's one of our fun buses.
Hey.
It looks very calm there, doesn't it?
Number 8, that's the bus we get on.
Yep.
All right. This is the market. This is a grocery store where we went to go get food. We also went there on multiple occasions for other things, including a cake. And right across the street was the casino. But at least we knew where it was.
Ooh, Holland fruit, vegetables.
This
Got
is
it.
right. Yep.
Go
This
ahead.
is right outside of Castillo Forte, and you got to have a Christmas tree when Christmas tree is coming. Now, if you look at the way it's structured, we've got the extension ladder on top of the extension ladder, and I
top
still
of
don't know
it.
how they got the star up there. This is one that was done.
This is in Miraflores
Yep.
by the ocean.
Yep.
Great big, huge place. And it's beautiful right by the ocean. It's a big shopping center like Mall of America and a park with it. Some pictures around there. This is the Park of Love.
And
there
there's
you
the
can
lover.
see it. There the lovers are. Yeah.
And there was this mosaic wall that went all along this park, all along the coast. You can't really see it, but maybe you can see it in the background. That's the coast. I don't know, probably a good 800 feet down if you were to look over the edge. And they have the lock wall, similar to what's in Paris. They have one there.
Also in Korea. John F. Kennedy Park. Oh, I love these guys. Isn't he pretty? Oh,
And these are huge.
yeah, they're big.
I mean, we're not talking like a little vase. I mean, this thing was, I don't know, probably a good 12 feet in circumference.
Ooh, who's that? We're having a good time. We're shopping. You just can't tell it yet. Oh, we're shopping.
This is one of the gift locations. They were, when we got to Miraflores, Aaron had kind of given us a layout of where things were at and where we could go. This is one of the huge places. This is like a mall type of thing. You walked in, and I think Jess and Pastor went there. I don't think they got through most of it because it was so big.
Little stores, lots of little storefronts inside the mall. Oh, there I am, buying. The lady who sold me my beautiful poncho. This is a Catholic church. No idea where that is.
That is the pickleball courts and everything else that they got going down in the
sure.
park. This is actually taking a photo across with the birds. You can see the rock formations. Well, that's looking up at it because we were walking. It went down. I kind of joked with Pastor. I was like, well, you could drop your phone there. That would be interesting. Paragliding. That kind of gives you a perspective.
That is really good. Yeah, it shows how far down the ocean was and how high.
And we walked all the way down. There was a few of us that went all the way down. This is right down where they went in. And a few of us wanted to go into the water. You can see me laughing. Christy was taking the picture. Dan was coming down. Amy's over there finding rocks to take home with her, and I don't know what Jess was doing. Apparently the water was a little refreshing. I don't know. There are other photos. This one's Christy holding her arms up. And this is the trek down. Lots of smiling faces because we went down. I don't know if we got pictures of us coming back up. I guess we'll see. But there's murals all the way down the walk path, all the way down to where the ocean is.
And they're beautiful murals. It's my favorite one. Well, there is graffiti, and
There's
it looks
graffiti.
just like graffiti here. They obviously go to the graffiti school around the world. But look at how pretty
But they
these
paint,
are.
I mean, that's the side of a building.
Yeah.
And this is us going to the museum at Pacamac. Pacamac is an active archaeology site. Ruins, Inca ruins, and actually Lima ruins. And this is the totem to Pacamac, the original god in that area. And some burial masks.
Yes. You're doing good.
Yeah, I'm going off of memory. That was the mural of what they saw on the side of the temple when they went up. It's a recreation. This is us looking up. You see the very top?
That's where the temple was.
Yep.
That's where we're going to be.
There's our hike. Again, you'll see a lot of smiling faces on the way up. It was a long way up. It was a long walk. Lots of steps
This was the main road that went right from Lima up to the
temple.
to the temple. Oh, look at that.
Hey, we're getting closer.
Yeah, we are. You can see the ruins. This is where the ladies lived. They had a special place.
And some of that, if it looks really nice, it's been reconstructed. We found that out when they first started doing it. This is our tour guide. Nobody can remember his name. We've tried. Did you get? You got it? Okay. I was like, everybody else I asked couldn't remember his name. But here he's telling us about all of the burial masks and all of the different things. His English was awesome. We all understood him. It was just very.
Oh, the hairless dog.
There's 4 of them that ran the entire property and just patrolled. We're still going.
It's a long way up there.
One of the things they do is they do structural support so that it doesn't disintegrate, but they do some reconstruction, but they only do certain sections of it. Instead of when they originally were doing it, they were just rebuilding it. Hey, we're at the top. Hey, we're smiling. Oh, that's because we're at the side of the ocean.
Oh, and
Lakin, of course, he had a great time. He didn't walk a bit. This is looking out, back towards the mountains.
Mm-hmm. And who remembers the story about those rocks?
Okay. Long story short, God falls in love with lady. Lady walks into the ocean because nobody claimed her illegitimate child. Big rock on the right is the lady. Little rock on the left is her child.
That was a good one, yes.
This is looking out straight from the ocean. Big contrast when we were there. There's poverty that we saw, that we kind of looked at, and that kind of stuff. And then there's luxury, because they can play polo.
Polo, yeah, right there on the fields, right down from the temple, yes. Oh, please do not put any paper in the toilet.
And that was the entire trip.
And we have beautiful flowers. The thing I found fascinating about the flowers is they look very common to me, very familiar. That's the word I want to use. But they grew huge. So instead of being indoor plants, they were outdoor trees. Oh, that's so pretty.
I don't know how many of these we have.
I don't either. But not enough.
Pastor really liked the flowers when we got to the end, so I don't know where we're at. We're close to the end of the slide presentation.
Oh, look at, they're just everywhere, which makes it very pretty.
All right,
Oh,
so the last thing is we got to celebrate with the kids on the last day. And here we are sitting with them in class. There's Jess and Sophia. Oh, Emma. And the teachers and Juan Carlos came up and they said they had something. So here they are. And if you look out on the table out there, there's a banner that the kids signed and wrote. And at the bottom, if you read it, it says, "The world is a city set on a mountain, cannot be hidden," from Matthew 5.
And that's
Yep.
everybody. Yep.
It was tough to say goodbye. Here's us getting ready right before Aaron left. Kevin wanted to come home with us, but then we told him what snow was, and then he rethought that.
And Lakin made it back.
He was checking to make sure we had a good video selection. And so,
There we are. We've all arrived.
did you keep the other one in, or did you take the other one out? Did you take? Okay, go ahead and switch it. Okay, so we had a photo bomber in this, but we left it in. And this kind of sums up the entire trip. It's Hebrews 13, verse 2. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. That was the theme of our whole trip. We met people that we didn't know, and we came back with family. And they're part of all of our family here at Ascension. Thank you.
Thank you. Turn this off some.
Your 3 minutes got shortened to 2.
No worries. I can be pretty quick. So we thought each person would take a few minutes just to share what kind of impacted them, and so I'll start out the reflections this morning for all of us. I felt really comfortable when we arrived because this is where we arrived. And notice what it says there. I don't know if you can read it. Mission Luterana. Lutheran mission. And so I felt really comfortable getting there to San Borja because we weren't really outsiders. We were part of the group already just because we're Lutherans. One of the things that I did was walk around a lot, and when I was doing that, I take a lot of pictures. So I saw this on the ground. When I took this picture, I had no idea what that meant. But it was cool. It was in the ground, right outside their place. Anybody know how to translate that without using Google Translator? In this home, we live in peace, love, and joy. Isn't that beautiful? It was about a block and a half from the place where we were staying. One of the things that impacted me, though, was that even though there are 60% Catholic in the country of Peru, there's still a lot of people who don't really have a relationship with Jesus. And that was hit home to me when I saw the totem for Pachacamac, the creator god that the Incas had worshipped. That's the totem on the left. But on there is also this little symbol of a cross you maybe recognize. Kind of interesting how that was decoration in there, but we have this idea that Jesus is needed everywhere. And so that's what impacted me, that we're there to let people know the truth about who Jesus is. Dave, you're up.
Okay, so next slide. All right, so there's all of us walking in, and as you can see, it's a little dirty, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, uh-oh, what did we get ourselves into? Next slide. So I had the job of cleaning things, and one of the things that's important to them is they have a presentation that it's a welcoming and clean place. Laura was mopping the floor when we showed up. You saw the picture in the slide and how the floor was and everything else. She was mopping the floor. Even though it wasn't one of the things that we had on our thing, she wanted us to be prepared. Side note, I did shut out the power, and there's what it looks like after. It's all clean. You can see that some of the paint's come off the red, and it is a welcoming place for God. We made it clean like Christ makes us clean. And so the mission was able to bring that word to the people of Lima, Peru. Amy, you're up. I knew what I was going to say, and I did a lot of talking before.
All right. I don't even remember my pictures. Oh, yeah. So here's us with the youth. Their youth are high school to like 28, 29. So it's not like a youth group at just a high school. So it was fun to be with the young adults and to experience their Bible study. It was fun to see them engaged. My heart goes out that we can have that young congregation, that young presence in our congregation in the future. So there's one person I want to point out, and is the gentleman standing right next to Jess. So does anybody know about the 6 degrees of separation? You know, okay. So we got to talking with this gentleman. His name is Kevin as well. Kevin is from Monticello, Minnesota. He's from Peru, but he lives in Monticello, Minnesota. He went back down to Peru to help take care of his grandma and grandpa, and his grandfather passed away, so then he was there to help his grandmother get her affairs in order. She owns a pig farm, and so he was setting up people to come in and help her with the chores and everything. So it was just really interesting. You know, here we are coming from Minnesota, going thousands of miles away, and we meet somebody from Minnesota. So that was kind of neat. But we had a lot of fun. I just never felt like there was an age gap anytime we were with people. So here we are making arepas, and I put this picture in here because I have made arepas twice now since I've been back. Made them for our home. Oh, yeah. And we were just recently in Ohio and made them down there. So I mean, it's fun. I love to cook, so being able to bring a different culture to my cooking is fun. So, and then my last picture. So, can't really tell on the big screen, but this was after we had painted and put everything back. But this picture really struck me because the way that the light the joy that I found in going down to Peru and having the experience that I had. So I want to personally say thank you. Next.
Jennifer Ragberg.
I'll just talk loud. I'll be down here. You guys have all seen all this. She's got it. Oh, you got it? Okay. Okay. So the number one question I've been asked by everybody when I tell them that I went to Peru on a mission trip is, how was the food? So, and you've seen some of the pictures of the food, but what we ate, because we had definitely communal living, but we had groceries brought in, so every morning for breakfast, everybody made their own breakfast. There was eggs, bacon, toast, cereal, and then you packed your lunch. And your lunch was possibly leftovers if we had any, which I eat leftovers. Highly processed meats, you make a sandwich, and you got an apple. And then they had big bags of chips you kind of passed around. So I lived on peanut butter and jelly if I didn't have leftovers. So when we went out for dinner, which was one of the highlights, because you could tell we were on kind of short rations during the day, everybody was hungry. We wanted to see, well, how is the culture? What do people actually eat? How does this all work? There are so many restaurants, like so many. The population's 11 million, and you would think nobody ever stayed home and cooked because there's so many restaurants. I took some pictures. This is, it's actually got a fancy name called causa limena. It's the very emblematic dish of Peru, of Lima especially. Again, the potatoes, we had more than 4,000 varieties of potatoes, so potatoes were everywhere. We didn't have them in dessert, but we had them in every other course there was. This was a beef, and there we had potatoes and rice. So we love the carbos. And then we had the salad, and the salad was phenomenal. But again, we have potatoes. And the little tiny eggs are quail eggs, which, you know, here, if you see quail eggs, that's in the high-end restaurants, it's big bucks. Nope, they were everywhere. We saw one guy who had a box, it's like a milk crate, but it was stacks and stacks and stacks of egg cartons of these tiny little quail eggs. He was riding them on his bike for a delivery. So they were everywhere. And this is the dessert that is, they call it, in English, Sai of Lima. Because you just sigh, it is so sweet and so yummy. It's like a marshmallow on top of a crunchy butter brickle, and it's warm. And it's just, we passed everything around. We always ate communally. So nobody knew how to order, so we just, you know, Aaron ordered stuff for us, and we all passed it around and made our own ideas. One thing that, when you saw the restaurants that Dave and Dar were showing, is that we were able to pray in public, you know, so people would see that we were, you know, a Christian group, we were together. Every time we ate together, we always ate in a big circle back in the church. We prayed in Spanish, which was kind of a challenge for some of us. But it was really kind of nice to be able to share it publicly and see how the people locally live too. Okay, next.
That's it. That's all I have.
Well, all righty. These people live the gospel. Matthew 25 said, when you do this for the least of me, you feed me, I'm hungry. I'm obviously badly paraphrasing. But anyway, these people really knew what it meant. They take care of the children every day after school. Next slide, please. They're feeding them in body and soul. They're out there playing with them, having a good time. Next one. And here we all are. This is what it looks like when we share God's love. Everybody is happy. We all brought special gifts, and we shared them with each other. Thank you. I put all my pictures together. Now, where are my pictures? I'm not there.
Flicker after service?
I didn't use it.
Ah, it's on the podium. Thank you.
I'm not sure.
There we go.
Did you, John?
Before we left for our trip, a friend who's sitting here now, who's been on her own mission trip, said, look for the gifts. These are the gifts. This is Erin. She is officially an LCMS short-term mission trip volunteer coordinator. That is a mouthful. Of all the things I didn't expect going on a mission trip, I did not expect to be spoiled. She took such good care of us. This is Kevin. You've heard about him already, so I won't elaborate. He was just a lot of fun. Please pray for him. He is awaiting a call/placement for a church in Bolivia, but in the meantime, he is staying at San Borja in Peru, where we stayed, and helping with the churches there. This is Pablo. You've heard a little bit about him. I would just like to say that Pablo kept us safe in traffic that none of us here would ever drive in. And it also came to my mind this week that even NASCAR has rules. Lima roads do not have rules. They have 4-lane traffic circles with no traffic control. Pablo was a gift, absolutely. Going across the bottom, we have Shavela, Mercedes, Yepsi, and Laura. You've also seen them in pictures before. They welcomed us warmly, worked with us to organize their facility, and like others have also said, their love for the children was something you not only saw, you could feel it. They are wonderful servants of God. Pastor Walterson and his family, Steffi and Isabella. Pastor Jean Carlos was separated from his family at the time. Deaconess Caitlin is his wife. She recently gave birth to their 3rd child, and they're back in the U.S. Please pray for the paperwork. Baby Ian, of course, now needs a passport, and there's all kinds of, process to go through. So ask you to pray for their family that they can be reunited soon. These people were just so amazingly warm and welcoming and wonderful. John Carlos really struck me when he was leading the Bible study with the young adults. He made the Bible verses come to life and apply to the lives of those young people. He made it real for them. That just, I don't have any other words for that. And as busy as he is, taking care of, he and Pastor Walterson, 2 pastors, are taking care of the 3 Lutheran churches in Lima right now. So they're very busy people. He took time out of his schedule. He's bilingual mostly. Translated for us so that Yepsi, who is again this gal, and Ariana, who was in an earlier photo, could teach us how to make arepas. We did a lot of things without knowing much Spanish. We learned the 10 phrases we were told to learn before we went, but God is good, and he just made it all work. This is, again, that same picture of the youth group who laughed with us and probably at us while we were trying to play their games and understand the instructions, when, again, we did not speak Spanish. And the children were such a gift. just the joy as you watch them take care of each other. If one child got injured, everything stopped, everybody ran over, they all helped, everybody got included, even the little ones. They were just a gift to all of us. And, of course, our entire team, who, with the help of God, worked together to bless those who also blessed us. Those are the gifts I found in Peru.
I'm sure that most everybody here knows the old adage, one man's trash is another man's treasure. The people of Peru live that way to the fullest. They are incredible scavengers. For example, one of the things that we were tasked to do down there was to actually construct a garden for them. And the garden was to be surrounded by a decorative metal fence. Now, if you look on the top of the blue VW up here, if you can look at it carefully, there are two metal grates that used to be security bars for windows. The two workers that they acquired to build the fence took those gates, cut off the corners and whatnot. If you switch to the second slide, voila, there's the first 12 feet of fence that they had to build for the garden. They used the spacing and sizing of that window to actually build the gate and finish the fence. And that's pretty much just the way that God works with us all. He takes the broken pieces and constructs them new. And that's what I learned in Peru. Who's next?
I just had one thing that I wanted to share. Just getting to see all the different cultures they have there. South America is not quite as big as the United States, so the different countries are pretty close. So we saw people from Bolivia like Kevin, Venezuela. On Sunday morning after church, I got to talk to a guy who was from Finland. That's not quite so close as Venezuela. So his name was Samuel, and we just were talking about different things, and I just noticed all the things that despite being in different countries, all the things that were the same and things that were slightly different. And it was kind of interesting to see another outsider's perspective on different culture. He'd been there for about 8 months. It was kind of interesting to see what he thought of Peru. Just getting to talk to someone. His English was better than his Spanish, but he at least understood what they were saying. So it was a very good experience, and I'm glad that got to see something a little different than what I was expecting.
All right, you can just go right to the picture. So this is Sophia and Sophia. You'll notice that a lot of them, there's quite a few that'll have similar names, but the reason I chose this picture with them, and you'll see them in my other ones, but it was really neat on our one day that we were there with them for their meal, and they both grabbed me by the hand and wanted me to sit by them. We had only been there a week, and just the connections that you already make with the young people in there, it's heartwarming, and I'm sure the hormones didn't help either, but they were great. And of course, Kevin, I had to get a picture with Kevin. Kevin and I actually still talk a lot through Facebook and everything like that, and he's just a really great guy. One thing he said to me in a message while we were in devotion, and I'm like, Kevin, this is naughty. You're not supposed to be texting during devotion. But he said that goodbyes are the hardest. And I said, this isn't goodbye. This is see you next time. And I do hope that we can see Kevin. What? Yes, next one. But yes, so the girls, Sophia, and I cannot remember the other one, but they just wanted us to always be a part of what they were doing. So there we are. You don't see my picture because it wasn't as good as the girls, but we were coloring their Bible study for that class day. But yes, the relationships were amazing, and I hope to continue them.
All right, thank you, team, for sharing those thoughts. We had allotted 3 minutes per person, and we're way over time. So we were going to give you 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A, but we only have 3, so fire away. Any questions about the mission trip? What you saw, what you heard. Kathy?
Was this considered inner city or a suburb?
Inner city. The place we stayed was considered upper middle class, actually. Where we worked in Castillo Fuerte was low income, very, very poor. A factory district, actually. When we walked by on our way from the bus to the actual site there, we saw probably 20 factories that we walked by.
Are the children considered very well educated for the nation and so forth? You know what I mean? Like, if they're third graders, are they at a certain...
I have no clue. The ones we saw were amazing. Yeah, they only go to school half a day. And then that's why this after-school program was working well. Joe?
You thinking about going back again?
100%. 100%, yep. Fred?
When you were working with the locals, was the language difference much of a hindrance or not?
Yes, it was a massive hindrance. Massive.
A lot of pointing and grunting.
You need to rely upon, I needed to rely upon Google Translator because I hadn't done my homework like Darlene before I went. I didn't know it well enough to survive, so Google Translator saved me, but it's not good. It's better to have it, to know it in your heart. And going back, I've been learning, so it'll be much better next time. Sue?
What kind of factories were they, and what income did those people that you were working with make?
I don't know about the income, but everything's much lower there in terms of their wages. I mean, much lower. But most of the factories are textile. The district is a textile district. That's where Castillo Fuerte is. It's called La Victoria District.
And then on the bottom side of a lot of them, and it was intermixed. I mean, there were shops, there were automotive places, there was a machining place. We thought we were going to have to hire the welders from across the street. So, I mean, it was pretty impressive.
It was definitely a culture shock. We talked about that. It was literally felt. So it was good. All right, Fred?
The suppers looked very good. I'm just curious, what was the typical price for a meal?
Cheap.
For us, it was free because it was part of the inclusion of the cost. So there you go.
When we bought our own things, for instance, an alcoholic drink, which some of us were treated to, we were allowed to buy those on our own. 3 drinks was like $12 U.S.
Equivalent to U.S. dollars, would you make a guess, like $5?
$12 for 3 drinks. So about $4 for a alcoholic drink. So about a third of the cost here from here. Yeah.
A full meal was probably around $10 to $12.
Yeah. And you saw what the food was like. And we were eating at very nice places. We were spoiled rotten. There's no question. We were well taken care of by the missionaries there.
No, we did not have guinea pig. No.
Nope.
We didn't get that luxury, no. That treat.
Erin wasn't brave enough to take us someplace, and she said it's up in the mountains they eat a lot of that as far as that goes, back up in the rural areas of the mountains.
Once again, Peru is a larger country compared to, just Lima. Lima is the majority of the population, though. So we were only in one small part of Lima, actually. Very, very small. I mean, from the work site to our place is about 7 miles. That's it. The airport was much farther away than that. But where we stayed and where we worked, very small area. But we got a very good taste. That's where all 3 churches are, within that small area. So, 3 Lutheran churches.
How was the food?
Amazing.
Delicious.
Sue? Was there any military presence? Yes, yeah. There is. On my walks, I saw many with guns out patrolling. So I felt very safe there, though, and I think everybody did in our area, especially because we were upper middle class.
It was not a safe area where we worked.
What's that?
It was very safe where we stayed.
Yep.
Not that safe where we worked.
Correct. Not very safe where we worked, but there wasn't much presence there either. Much military presence. It was There was a military base literally right next to where we stayed. So, yeah. All right. Please talk to the team members that you've seen share. Peggy Lawson also, she's not feeling well, but she was also part of our team. We thank you for your support. It was incredible. I hope more people will consider going to the next mission trip, which will probably be before too long, God willing. We see the need to do this, to get God's word out into the world, to learn how his people, his believers in the world are working where they are placed. And so it's a good chance for us to partner. You see that picture up there of the team, but it's not just that group of 10, as Jessica shared earlier. It's our congregation as a whole, and the friends of our congregation who are supporting through prayers and through finances to have this happen. Going forward, we don't know what God's got planned, but he knows already, so we're going to be listening for his guidance to think about what we can do to continue that relationship, not just personal relationships, but as a congregation with the mission down in Peru, which right now is just 3 Lutheran churches there in Lima. It could grow, and we are a part of that because we've been there as a mission team. So we're going to give you that as a teaser, be listening, and hear what's coming next as we follow God's lead on this. I wanted to close with prayer, so I thought we'd close with the Lord's Prayer. Everybody know that? I got the petitions all color-coded, so it should be. No, I'm just kidding. We'll actually say it in English, but that's in Spanish. That's the Lord's Prayer, and that's what they would say. So let's pray together the prayer our Lord taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Christy?
I don't know if it was mentioned, there's a display table in the north end with some more information about our trip, and the back hallway has an entire wall of photos.
Thank you for that reminder. I did forget to mention that. Please check out the table as you're leaving today. There's some handouts you can take if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what food is like there, as well as how we spent the money you donated. And then the bulletin boards will be up for a long time. So read
Also,
them,
Amy
learn about
made a
them.
treat, so if you didn't get one of the
treats.
cookies,
Yeah.
she has cookies out there. Those were one of the cookies that we had while we were down there. They're in the bistro area.